welcome to the return of some league racing on the channel. We are back yet again then on F1 2021 this time for some more league racing, and we are racing this time in WOR on Xbox, and this is in tier 5. And yeah, these are going to be, as you'll see from the title, the first 3 rounds of the season. Then we've got Bahrain first, and then we're going to Japan and then China after that. So here we are back once again then. This is the 11th F1 game in a row that I've done league racing on. Wasn't sure if I was going to this year, but yeah, couldn't keep away. And obviously it's been a while since we've been in one of sort of the more competitive leagues. We sort of raced in FXR back in on F1 2020, which was sort of a bit more of just a casual league with some friends there, and it was sort of like just sort of open to anyone really, any sort of pace level. But yeah, this is more so what we were doing beforehand, like with AOR, STS and RFL, where it's sort of like more of a tiered thing. And as I said, we're in tier 5 then, which I think is going to be quite good for me. It was one of the only leagues that raced on like a day that I can race on, and also like I still don't really have like a lot of time to commit to league racing, so I think just this level is pretty good for me, and like I think actually it's pretty much perfect for me in terms of where I'm at right now in terms of what I want to do in terms of league racing. And yeah, really looking forward to this. And we've qualified second for this first race. This is a pretty new grid to me. I've not really raced with many people here before, only Matt 212 in AOR season 14. I may have raced with Nomad before, that seems familiar, and maybe also Minty as well, but I don't think I regularly race with any of them. So yeah, it's all pretty new to me here, but yeah, as I said, I think it's pretty much the perfect league for me to be in at the moment then. And yeah, quite looking forward to this season. And here's the strategy then for this race. It's saying 2 stop, but I was trying to do a 1 stop here. I was expecting safety cars, which is why I'm under fuel in the car here, because I really didn't think I'd be needing a lot of the fuel that I had. So that was the logic there behind me under fueling. And yeah, I think we're just going to try and run as long as we can on the soft tyres, maybe go over to mediums, run about lap 9 or 10. Obviously safety cars, as I say, I think are going to play a part in this, so we'll have to just sort of try and roll with whatever happens then and see exactly what will happen. Here's a then we've qualified in a good position here, second on the grid. I wasn't expecting that at all, so we'll see what we can do from here then. So we're lined up now then on the grid, and the lights are coming on now. Away we go then for the first race of this new season in WOR, and it's not been a good start for us then. We've had a lot of wheel spin there, and we've got Limpjet and Alex then challenging us towards the first corner, and it's quite comfortable there for Gorgon in the lead. Alex has gone through there, and I thought for some reason that there were cars on my inside there, so I went wide in turn 2 and sort of hopped over turn 3 when I didn't really need to there, but no harm done, and we're in 3rd place then. So we lost a place off the start there, but I think it could have been a lot worse considering how bad our launch actually was there, because we really did just not get away at all there. And well, we were quite fortunate, I think, to only lose 1 position there, and we've got through it then unscathed as well, so that is a positive for us there. Then skipping to lap 4 where nothing much had changed, but TLR 10 there had crashed out of the race, so that could potentially be a safety car here. But yeah, Gorgon then pulling away. Alex looking very strong here on race pace. Gorgon was very strong in qualifying. He got pole by a few tenths, as we saw. And we do now then, as I said, as I predicted, we would be, yeah, got safety car here then. So yeah, that's going to change things. But in terms of strategy, and I did use this chance then to pit here then and sort of convert my race to sort of a 2 stop here, but kind of also like still a 1 stop really, but going over to mediums here, and then I guess just going a bit longer into race and then going on to mediums again a little bit of a later time in the race when it would be easier to hang on to them, because I did feel that like going to like lap 9 or 10 on softs and then going mediums to the end would be would be quite a big ask on the in terms of tyre wear. So just going over to mediums now and then going a little bit longer until about like 14 or 15 in the race was the plan here, as we've got Catalogical there then crashing behind the safety car there, doing a bit of a well, I think George Russell, I guess you could say, because I think he was in the Williams there, so that's a mistake from him there then, and that moves us up a place. And yeah, we've got a couple of more cars in the pits. That means it's up to P5, and well, it's all going off behind the safety car here then, because Nomad has spun off as well then, so that has put us up to 4th place then before we've even got running again here then in this race. It was Gorgon who pitted as well then. He got a penalty the first time he came in, so I believe he was serving that there, and also using that to go over to another fresh set of tyres, I guess, there. So it's going to be Minty then who leads away from Connor. Neither of them have pitted so far. And then we've got Alex on softs, me on mediums, and Liam on hard. So we've all gone a different way then in terms of the strategy at that pit stop, but we all did use that chance to pit then, whereas the top two didn't. Alex then is going straight on the attack here of Connor then towards the first corner. We're also on the inside line. Liam's going to try and go around the outside here then and get the inside line for turn 2. In fact, that is exactly what he's done then, and on hard tyres, he's managed to overtake us there. So we want to try and get him back here if we can then, because obviously he's going to be on the slower tyres here, and we could potentially lose a bit of time then if we're stuck behind him. Lost the back end there a little bit through turn 4, and that really hurt us there. Then we couldn't make the most of that chance then to get back through, and we're going to have to just settle in behind here and then look for another opportunity to get that move done, as Alex has got through then on Connor. On to lap 8 now then, where we've got Nomad out of the race, Catalogical out of the race, and I believe Rossi as well. I guess they all collided there, and it brought out a safety car for the second time this race then, right around when we would have pitted if there weren't any safety cars in this race. So we will now use this chance to yet again pit here then, and Minty comes in here as well then, and so does Alex in fact. And yeah, at this point then, this would have been around about the point where I would have tried to go over to mediums then and try to hang on to them for the rest of the race. So that's what we're going to do now then. We will be able to save these tyres then for a couple of laps behind the safety car as well then, so that'll hopefully work out for us okay. Alex looks to be doing the same thing then, he's on mediums, but Minty has gone for hards there, so has Chris, and Gorgon then has gone with both me and Alex and gone for the mediums. So yet again then some split strategies going on here then. Liam stayed out up at the front, so is Connor. He's yet to pit under either of these safety cars, and it's an Aston Martin 1 and 3 then, because Worthless Eagle is in 3rd place at the moment. We restart then, we're in 6th place at the moment, but yeah, we just don't know how it's going to shake out then at this stage, as we're on the back then of Minty, who is probably going to end along with us here then, so we want to try and pass him if we can, especially as we're on the quicker tyres. And I realised at the last second that we weren't going to have the space there into turn 2, so I had to back out of that one, and that could put Gorgon on the back of us now then up towards turn 4, but I think we've just about got it covered then. We weren't quite close enough to go on the attack of Minty ourselves there into turn 4, but Connor there has spun out for the lead. I mentioned he stayed out for both those safety cars, but sadly for him, he's thrown it away then on his own by the looks of things there. He was out in front, and it's going to be Liam now then who's up into the lead this race, as Gorgon is all over the back of us then, waiting for us to make some kind of mistake here. And yeah, that was a bit difficult for me here, because I wanted to go for the move on Minty, but I knew that one wrong move here would put the Red Bull right on me here. Minty a little bit out of shape there though, so we're going to have a good run here then down towards the final corner, and it looks like we've got it done before we even get there then, and we're up into 4th position. No DRS yet, so that's going to make it a little bit easier for us to defend down this straight, and it looks like Gorgon is through them on Minty as well, so yeah, he's just following us all the way here then, and we're going to have a hard time I think then in these final 17 laps shaking him off here, as we've got then Alex now up at the front, Liam in 2nd, and it's Worthless Eagle then still in 3rd and still yet to pit I believe. He started on the hard tyres, and I guess in this one out of the final corner at the end of this lap then, we're all onto the back of Eagle now then, so we will hopefully get him down this straight then towards the first corner. DRS is now enabled, but we don't have it here, and this is just pure slipstream then down the pit straight, and up the inside we get the move done then on the much fresher tyres there. And it's just Alex and Liam then next up the road in front of us. Liam on hard tyres, so we will be hoping to pass him quite soon then, and try and get out a bit of a gap, because he probably will come back to us at the end of this race. We're going on the attack then into the first corner, but we are too deep there into the turn, and we do keep on the track, but yeah, well, our line was all wrong there, and Liam was easily able to sweep back through then in turns 2 and 3 and retake 2nd position. And all the while then, this is just allowing Alex to pull away up at the front then. So yeah, we want to try and get this move done as quickly as possible here then, before Alex is long gone, because he could have quite a straightforward run to the finish then if we don't get his move done soon. And we're up the inside then of Liam this time around. Once again we go quite deep, but we've managed to gather up a little bit better this time and managed to block Liam as well there, so that's actually worked out quite nicely for us here. We'll have to do a bit of defending then, as he's got DRS up towards turn 4, but we've done just enough here by the looks of things to maintain the position as Eagle is out of the race, and that is another safety car then, so there's been 3 in this race. And for the first time then, we don't use this one to pit. We're going to stay out then, and so does Alex. Limpjet moves up to 3rd then. I don't think he pitted either, but Liam did pit then, and he's on soft tyres, so that's quite a way to go then. 12 laps of green flag racing then, if there aren't any more safety cars. So I imagine he'll be straight on the attack here, but he could be struggling towards the end. We're going to try and go with Alex if we can then. Obviously we've been thrown a bit of a lifeline then in terms of the fight for the race win here, with that gap cut down, and he was actually out of shape there through turn 1, so that's going to put us on him then up the hill then towards turn 4, and we're almost side by side here. Then we're on the inside line, but just it seems to be in the case all race so far. We haven't quite had the confidence in that braking zone of turn 4, and we couldn't make the move stick here, but we're right on the back of him, so hopefully this time we can go with him then and stick within the DRS range for these next couple of laps, and we should be in a good chance here of fighting for this win. But as I say, Liam then is just absolutely flying now then on those soft tyres, and he will just be charging through then and hoping that he can get far enough ahead that by the time the mediums come back into play, he's too far up the road, I guess, as we didn't get the best line there through turns 1 and 2, and it was very easy then for him to get that one done. We're going to try and fight it if we can, but he's got that one covered then. We're running outside of turn 4, and he's up to 2nd, and I imagine he'll be after Alex pretty quickly here then, and with 10 laps to go, and yet he is into the lead now then. He set the fastest lap, and it's now Gorgon in fact on the attack of us then, and he goes through then and demotes us down to 4th then, so we're not on the podium at this stage, and we are ignoring of course that pit strategy there to come in. We'll be going to the end on these tyres, but yet we're in 4th place at this stage then, and it was still looking pretty good for us then to maintain P4. We had a good gap to those behind us with 4 laps to go here. Doesn't really look like we have the podium pace, but Liam's pace is starting to drop off, so my one hope here was that they would all start squabbling and I would be able to just sort of swoop in here and pick up some positions. Heading around turn 6 and 7 now then, but we just take too much curb. We're heading towards the barrier, there's nothing we can do, and that is sadly race over in the first round of the season. And yeah, that was a big disappointment for me there. As you can see, we just stay on the screen. I was just very much in shock and disappointment there at doing that. And yeah, sadly that is our race over, and not the way that we wanted to start things off, especially as we had 4th place comfortable there. And to make things worse, well, literally next lap Gorgon and Liam collide. Gorgon gets a penalty, so we basically had a guaranteed podium in the bag there. And we threw it away sadly, but this was still a really fun race to kick things off, and I never do well at Bahrain, so the fact that I was sort of up there for most of that race was quite encouraging for me here. So even though we didn't finish, there was still quite a few positives to take from this one. It's going to be then Alex who took the first win of the season from Liam in 2nd, and Chris then was the driver who finished on the podium in the end then, after mine and Gorgon's misfortunes. And yet there are the 4 results then: Minty, Connor, Limpjet, my teammate Levy there in 7th, and Peanut and Gorgon were the points finishers. And we couldn't quite make it to 90% there to get a point there, sadly. So yeah, it's going to be nothing for us then from this first race of the season. Round 2 of the season then brings us to the Japanese Grand Prix here at Suzuka, and as you can see we've qualified 5th then for this race, so not as good as Bahrain, but still we're in a decent position here to challenge. And this is a track that I do tend to enjoy, but of course it is one that is very easy to make mistakes on, so yeah, we can't really afford to be doing what we did last time then. And my plan for this one then was yet again to try and do soft to medium, but I was aware that of course that safety cars would very likely interfere with that, so yet again I did actually underfuel, so yeah, I was very much anticipating that. Obviously I know that is quite a risky strategy, because if there isn't a safety car then yeah, we do have some work to do in terms of underfueling, but I was pretty confident here that there probably would be a few incidents here that would bring out some safety cars as we lined up now then on the grid, and we've got the lights coming on now. Away we go, and it's a pretty good launch this time then. We're on the clean side of the track, so I don't know if that made a difference, but we're passing Peanut then very quickly here then towards the first corner, running outside in for turns 1 and 2, and it looks like, well, we're still side by side here then with Peanut. We're just about ahead at the moment, but then into the S's he actually goes running outside of us in the first part and manages to get through there. So we're back down to 5th then, as our teammate was actually challenging us there for a second, but we managed to hold him off there then, and we stay in 5th place, so no movement for us then. We were briefly ahead, but we stay where we are then for the time being, and skip on to lap 3 where not much has changed except that Limpjet then has managed to pull away up at the front. So there's a little bit of a train here behind Alex, but it's actually Chris then who makes a mistake in the S's there, and that puts Peanut right onto the back of him there then, and he's going to go through, and we're going to use that chance then while the Alfa Romeo is out of shape there to pounce on that opportunity as well there then, move ourselves up position as well. So that's worked out nicely for us there then. We're up a position and still right on the back then of Peanut, and Alex is not far up the road as well then. And yeah, onto lap 5 now then, where we're right on the back of him still, but the virtual safety car is now out then, so we'll see if that mixes things up. I didn't have any plans here to pit. I was still going with my strategy here of running to about lap 9 or 10 and pitting for mediums, but Alex is in, and so is Peanut, and in fact so is Levy as well there. So quite a few cars pitting. I think some others may have pitted further back as well, but Limpjet stayed out there in the lead, and we move up to 2nd place now. I didn't realise that on F1 2021 the VSCs were a lot longer this time, so yeah, it was, I guess it is more of an advantage than on this game to actually pit under those conditions, but I was still happy with my strategy here. I was just going to go with that then, and that VSC has allowed us to save our tyres a little bit here then, so we can push a little bit more now then until our pit stop, and yep, hopefully that'll pay off for us then, as we have caught Limpjet here then. He sets a faster lap, but then we go slightly faster, so we're looking pretty good at this stage then. We've got the gap down to just over 1.5 seconds there. It had been 3 seconds before. He now pits on lap 9. I decided to go 1 lap longer here then, and yep, just go for that lap fresher tyres then later on. I didn't think there would really be much difference here between which lap we pitted, but I thought maybe just the extra lap would be good for us then at the end. And in fact the safety car comes out, so that also staying out there was actually a fantastic decision, and that's going to really help us now then as we pit at the end of this lap from the lead of this race, and we could well be in a very good position by the time we exit the pits here. And Callum has actually stayed out then, so he's going to take the lead. That's an interesting decision from him there then. He started on those tyres, but he has not decided to pit there, so I guess he's trying to go long into this race and go over to softs at the end. Maybe he's banking on another safety car later on then to do that. But for us though, we rejoin in 3rd position with just Alex in front of us then of those who had pitted before. So we're looking pretty good then. We're in effectively a net P2 at the moment, and we're surrounded by cars on hard tyres. And well, just like in Bahrain, we're having crashes under the safety car here then. Alex has spun off. That moves us up to 2nd position here then. So well, our job has just got a little bit easier here then, because it's just Callum who has yet to pit who is separating us from the race lead at this stage. We've got Peanut and Levy behind us then, both on hards, and well, what's good for us is that that's just a couple of cars then between us and Limpjet, who's also on that same strategy, and who of course was looking very quick here. As we're on the attack then of Callum straight away here then from this restart, but I mean, he's looking pretty quick here. I believe he qualified in the top 10 on those tyres, so he certainly has some pace here, and maybe he knows something that no one else does here, and he's going to try and just go long here and go for it all at the end on the soft tyres here. And he certainly was holding us off here, and we were pulling away, and he was continuing to keep us behind here. So he certainly had some good pace, but yeah, we just couldn't get through. And I knew that I could sort of take my time with it, and I knew that that was the right thing to do, especially because we didn't finish in Bahrain. I just knew I needed to see the checkered flag in this race, because yeah, we got nothing in Bahrain. We're looking good here. We need to just get some points, and Callum actually spins there, and well, luckily he did ghost, but yeah, we didn't have to take as much avoiding action as we may have needed to there. But yeah, we're into the lead now then, and we can just hopefully try and pull away. We did lose a bit of time there to Peanut, but we're just going to get straight to it on opening that gap back out again, and that's exactly what we're doing then. Almost a second already then, only a few corners later, but would you believe it, we have disconnected our old friend the disconnections once again, then robbing us of a chance there sadly. And we are going to rejoin, but it was lap 16 when we disconnected, and we rejoin now then, and it's at the just as we're starting lap 19, and we have slid all the way down to 8th position in this race. So that is an absolute disaster for us there. Then we were looking so good for a few moments there, but we've got it all to do now then once again. And we're just going to have so much traffic to get through as well then. I mean, our pace should still be good. We actually moved up to 7th there. I guess someone went off. I didn't quite see what happened there, but we're up to 7th there, and in fact make that 6th because Gronesy was out of shape there in the S's, and that allowed us to get through there. I think that also allowed Alex to get through as well up in front of us there. Next up then, and we've got TLR10 there who spins off, so that's another position for us as Alex and Liam are continuing to battle up in front of us. So as long as they continue to do that, that's really helping us to stick with them here. Almost had a chance at looking at Liam, but there wasn't really a way through there. But we should have a chance now then down this down the pit straight here with DRS. He did have a good run out of the corner, but we're just going to catch him up so quickly then. The ERS light is flashing there, so I guess he maybe ran out there, but we were still looking pretty good. We're through then. We're trying to hold a tight line here to stop him coming back at us, but we took it too tight on the curb and we spin around. In fact, Gronesy there spins in tandem there with us. There was nothing to do with our incident, he just spun at the same time as us. And we dropped down to 7th, and this race is turning into an absolute nightmare for us, when it looked like for a few shining moments that we were cruising to victory here, but no, we're down in 7th position now then with only a few laps to go. And the good news for us is that we should be 5th now then, because there are penalties for TLR10 and Deer Hunter, so we should have P5 at least wrapped up here, but it could have been so much more today then, but sadly that's not going to be the case. But as I was saying before, we just need to see a checkered flag today, so we really can't afford to make any more mistakes than tripping over any more cars and making any more mistakes here. So even though I know I had the pace here to get through some of these cars, I knew that the chances are we weren't going to catch Liam here, so I sort of had to try and take my time here then, not go for any risk, because there's no point, and what with them having penalties, and we just need to get some points on the board here. We did manage to at least get the moves done on TLR10 and Deer Hunter in the end then, without too much difficulty, but as I said, it was the P5 then was the first we were going to get then, as we were never going to catch back up to Liam, but we did set a fastest lap on the far lap there then, just to show that we did have some good pace still in the car. So it was a win then for Limpjet in the end, who was on that same strategy as us of course. Peanut was in 2nd and Alex was up on the podium again then in 3rd. And sadly for us then it was only P5. We did get the fastest lap, but there isn't a fastest lap point in this league, so that's sort of irrelevant really, except for just to show it off I guess. I think we did have a really good chance there of winning. I don't think it was guaranteed because Limpjet was looking very quick, but still, that is very sad to lose it that way. We certainly have a lot of history of losing wins and even championships to disconnections in the past. If you've been around on this channel for a long time, you'll certainly know about that. But sadly then once again here thwarted us all the way here in 2021, sadly. But we'll look to put it behind us then, and move on to the next one. Round 3 of the season then brings us to the Chinese Grand Prix, which of course isn't even on the calendar in the 2021 season, but it's still in the game, so I guess we're racing here. I should mention of course that this is only a 14 race season, so there are some tracks missing, but I guess we're still racing at China then this season. We're going to have Portimao for definite then, because that's now in the game, and hopefully we'll have Imola and Saudi Arabia later on in the season as well. So some new tracks to look forward to then later on in the season, but for now we're back at a familiar one here then in China. There is rain forecast for this race, so that's going to play a part in the strategy, as we are on the soft tyres at the moment, so we'll probably go over to mediums hopefully, and then hopefully those will carry us until the rain comes down, because it'll be hard to do soft medium if it's dry the way through. The light one now, and we are away here then alongside our teammate here in the 2nd row, so it was a pretty good qualifying for us here, and Levy looks to have had a good start towards the first corner, but yeah, we couldn't make any progress there. Then quite a short run to the first corner, and yeah, just sort of very cautious here not to trip over each other here. So yeah, just making sure that we're not under any attack from those behind us here then. And it's as you were in through his first few corners, then Limpjet leads away then from Alex, and yeah, there's me and Levy then in the two Alpines next up the road, as there's a little bit of a battle then going on behind us, but we're luckily managing to just about keep out of it then for the time being. And yep, just looking to stay where we are now then for the time being. On to lap 5, where yep, still not much has changed then, except that Alex has overtaken Limpjet then up at the front. Still then me and Levy in third and fourth, but make that second and third now then, because Jet has pitted quite early then for that stop. So that's an interesting strategy then. I guess he'll probably go over to hards then until the rain comes quite later on in the race. It is, I think it was in like block 5 out of 6 that the rain was first set to come down in, so gets quite a way into the race then, probably around about lap 21, 22 possibly, as yeah, we had DRS there on Levy, but yeah, there certainly wasn't a way through. I think he was possibly weaving there to say, you know, don't even think about it, but yeah, I wasn't really trying to go for the move there. I think it just wouldn't have been a good opportunity there to battle, because we're trying to catch up to Alex then, and we don't want to lose too much time to Jet either then. So yeah, I was only really going to go for the move there if, you know, we had a really good run, and you know, I felt like I was being held up because our pace was looking quite similar there. And yeah, Levy did pit there. Then we stayed out until lap 8. I did want to go another lap there, but when I saw that my tyres were on 71%, I knew that I could not risk going around again then. So yeah, we're in then, and so is Alex on this lap as well. We may well actually hold him up here for a second, which would obviously be a little bit of help for us here then, because that would, yep, certainly, yep, help us to bring down the gap a little bit then if we did get a slow stop. But by the looks of things, I don't think that was actually the case. So yeah, I don't think that one worked out in that way. And surprisingly then, both Jet and Levy then got quite a bit of an undercut there then doing that, but they've all gone for hard tyres then. We've gone for mediums, so either I'm right or all three of them are right. So we'll wait and see then. But what's good for us is that all three of them have started battling with each other here then, as we've actually got contact there between Levy and Alex. Alex onto grass there, and we're on the final corner now, and he's actually lost it there. Keeps out of the barrier, but that allows us to move up a position there then up into 7th. So that's worked out very nicely for us then, as round turn 7 here then, and well, Limp has lost there completely, and I didn't realise he was going to ghost until the very last second there. I don't think he did ghost until the last second there. I went off the road there to avoid him, and yeah, lost the position back to Alex there, but yeah, that could have been a lot worse for us there. And yeah, I'm just glad that his car did eventually ghost there, so I was lucky for us. And in fact, Levy's off the road, so it's all just going off here then between all 4 of us here then who have pitted earlier, and that's playing into the hands of all of those further ahead then who were going longer, who started on the medium tyres, as we're now in the DRS range of Alex, and he doesn't really have much defence there then, and we're going to breeze past with the DRS here. And well, despite going off the road then, we have yeah, we're going to end this lap in the lead of this group that pitted earlier then, so that's worked out very nicely for us. But we've got to try and pull away now then and break that DRS bubble there, as Peanut pits them on lap 12 for I think hard tyres there possibly. I think it may have been a little bit early there for softs. And then on lap 13 we've got Sparky up, who now crashes out of the race then, and that in fact brings out a safety car, so that's going to work out quite nicely then for the top 3 who haven't pitted yet, because they can now do their pit stop under safety car conditions. I had a bit of a dilemma here. I wasn't sure if pitting was really the right decision here, but I thought that just with so many cars now pitting for fresh tyres, I would be making myself a sitting duck if I didn't pit. I did also realise that the weather was taking quite a while to come in, so I wasn't sure if staying on the mediums was actually the best idea here. So I went over to another set of mediums. I noticed some others were going for soft tyres here, and yeah, including those up in front of us then, and also our teammate there as well. So yeah, he's gone for those. Peanut is on the hard tyres, so once again then quite a mix of strategies then thrown up here by the safety car. But I sort of was on the fence there really. Some were on softs and some were on hards, and yeah, I just went in the middle, literally out on the medium tyres. So we'll see if that works out. We should hopefully be faster than some of these cars, because they did qualify lower down the field, so that would suggest that we do have a bit more pace than some of them here. We should hopefully be able to pass Peanut here then, because he's on the hard tyres, and yeah, I would hope that we would therefore be able to get past him then quite quickly, because yeah, his pace might be a little bit slow here then on those tyres, as it's, I believe Alex only led the way then, so he's decided to stay out on his hard tyres, which could be a bit of a gamble, but as I said, some of these cars further down the field may well have not have the pace, and even on the soft tyres. As we're going for it then, up the inside into the hairpin of turn 6 here, we had a good run there, and we managed to get the move done then nice and cleanly, and we're up into 5th position for the time being then, with a bunch of soft tyre runners then up in front of us now then, and the safety car is out again here then, and now we've got a bit of a decision to make here, because well, it's certainly looking very overcast here, and it could well be a good decision here to sort of predict the weather here then and go for the inters. Well, in fact, just as we were about to ask for the weather, it started to rain, so well, that's made everyone's decision for them then, and yeah, everyone will surely now be going for intermediate tyres at the end of this lap, and in fact, well, indeed, that does look like what everyone is doing then, as well, it's lucky for us that there's no gravel there, because we almost did a Lewis Hamilton there, but luckily it's now tarmac, so yeah, we got away with that one then, and yeah, everyone, literally every single car is in for inters. Not a single person has decided it would be a good idea to gamble here and stay out, because yeah, that certainly would not be a good idea. But sadly for Levy, it means that he once again has to wait behind us, and to be honest, it's looking like our decision to pit the first time probably wasn't the best idea then, because we've still ended up then in 5th position here behind a bunch of those cars who did stay out and go over to soft tyres then at the start. But Chris has gone off the track there, and that is, well, a fair pass for us then, because yeah, he was off the track there, and we are up into 4th position, so that's good for us then. We've moved up a place, but yeah, we're still going to have a bit of work to do here then to catch up to Alex and Liam here. Hopefully we can pass Deer Hunter. I think he was further down the grid, so hopefully we have a bit more pace than him here, so we can get ahead of him then, and maybe go after Liam and Alex then, or at least put some pressure on them in these final few laps. We get going again then with 5 laps to go here, now very much in intermediate conditions, and obviously it came out then just before the rain started, and yeah, it's now probably intermediate conditions here, as Deer Hunter then very wide in turns 1 and 2, so that's allowed us to get up the inside there then. We're still side by side through turns 3 and 4, and he is edging back ahead of us then. He now has the inside line. We've got a good drive though out of turn 4, so we'll try and do what we did then with Peanut and just get the inside line for this hairpin and try and just get the move done here. It looks like we're going to do it then up the inside, but I think he is still just about there, but I think we're now edging ahead, and we're up onto the podium then, up to P3 here, so we've still managed to recover a pretty good position here then, despite probably not making the best strategy calls here. And what was very good for us then was that I actually got a 3-second penalty as well then, so whilst we didn't catch either him or Liam here, we should still finish in 2nd position in this race, because Alex then has that penalty, and yeah, we should easily finish within 3 seconds of him here. Around the final corner then, it was almost wet tyre conditions here, but we're going to come across the line then, and it's a 3rd place finish, but that moves up to 2nd then once the penalties are applied, and we're on the podium for the first time this season. And well, it was the first time this season that we didn't have a crash or a disconnection to get in the way of things, so yeah, just goes to show really that the potential was there in those first couple of races, but it didn't quite work out. But yeah, we finally then did get the podium then in round 3, and yeah, hopefully we can now build on that then going forward. Liam then takes the win, so we've had 3 different winners from the first 3 races so far. There we are in 2nd, and Alex has been on the podium in every race so far then to finish in 3rd. I believe Liam may well have been on the podium in all 3 races as well so far. Actually, I don't think he was in Japan, so I think he may well have been 4th in that race, but still both of them have been very consistent so far this season. And yep, sadly for our teammate then Levy, he was only 8th today. He got screwed over, I guess, by having to wait behind us. In the standings, both Liam and Alex are on 55 points up at the top. It's Limpjet in 3rd on 45, and then a bit of a gap back to us then. We're in 4th, we're on 28 points. So yeah, I mean, it's not looking too bad considering the first 2 races had quite a bit of misfortune for us. Some of it self-inflicted, some of it not. I think we're still looking pretty good here. Then we've had a very encouraging start to the season in terms of our pace. It hasn't quite come together so far, except for in China there, where I think we did probably as good as we could have hoped for there. But you know, it's been, I think, a very encouraging start to the season, and for the first time in a while, I'm actually like really enjoying doing some competitive league racing again. So that's really good for me then, I guess. And yeah, I'm looking forward to doing some more videos then. As you will have seen, obviously we did 3 races in one video here, so I'll probably continue to do that. Then we'll probably do 2 or 3 races per video. Then I probably won't do a video for every single race, but yeah, we'll cover every race then in either 2 or 3 at a time. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this then. If you did, really appreciate a like on the video, and I'll see you next time.